Two people, same job, same salary, same city. 10 years later, one of them owns a business, has investments, and is building real wealth. The other is still stuck, living paycheck to paycheck. Same starting point, totally different destination. What happened?
And I'll tell you right now, it was not about the money. It was never about the money.
Welcome to the show. Today we are going deep on why some people build wealth and others don't, even when they earn the same income. My guest has spent years studying exactly this. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. This is a conversation that can genuinely change someone's life if they're willing to be honest with themselves.
So let's bust the biggest myth right away. Most people think if I just earned more money, everything would change. That's the belief, right?
That belief keeps millions of people stuck. Here's the hard truth. Most people who get a raise just spend more. Most lottery winners go broke within a few years. More money does not fix the real problem.
So what is the real problem?
Habits, thinking, daily decisions, the way you see money, time, and opportunity. That is what separates the rich from the middle class. Not the paycheck. Never the paycheck.
Okay, let's get into it. Let's start with mindset, because I think that is the foundation of everything else.
It absolutely is. Here is the core difference. The middle class thinks about job security, a safe job, a steady paycheck, maybe a pension one day. Stay safe, do not rock the boat, and hope it all works out.
The rich think about assets. They ask, what do I own that makes me money while I sleep? A business, a rental property, shares in a company. They are always thinking, how do I build something that works for me even when I'm not working?
So one group is trading time for money, and the other is building things that earn money on their own.
Exactly. And both groups might be working hard, but only one of them is building something that lasts beyond the next paycheck.
Think about your last few purchases. Were they assets, things that grow in value or make you money over time? Or liabilities, things that cost you month after month? Be honest, most people will say liabilities, and that is okay. Awareness is the first step.
That is such an important question, because most people have never even thought about it that way.
Let's move to time, because you've told me this one is huge.
It is one of the biggest differences. After work, after the job is done, what do you do with your free time? The middle class tends to relax, watch TV, scroll through their phone for hours. And I get it, work is exhausting. But wealthy people use that same free time differently. They read, they learn new skills, they work on a side project. They are planting seeds during the hours that others are just passing time.
So it is not really about working more hours. It is about what you do with the hours you already have.
Precisely. 1 hour a day, reading, learning, or building something. Do that for 5 years, 10 years, and the person you become is unrecognizable compared to who you are today.
1 hour, that's it? Okay, let's talk about money habits, because I know this one hits close to home for a lot of people.
Here is a pattern I see over and over. Someone gets a promotion, salary goes up. What do? They get a bigger apartment, a newer car, more dinners out. Their lifestyle grows right along with their income. Every time they earn more, they spend more, so they never actually get ahead. The balance in their bank account stays roughly the same, even as the salary keeps climbing. They feel busier, more successful, but they are not building anything.
And wealthy people do the opposite?
They do the opposite. When they earn more, they keep their lifestyle the same and put the extra money to work. They invest it, they let it grow. Real wealth is built slowly, quietly, over time.
That sounds simple, but I know it is really hard to do in real life.
It is hard. We are surrounded by pressure to show success. But real wealth is often invisible, a number in an account that nobody else sees. The people who look the richest are often the least wealthy. The ones building real wealth, you would never know.
Let's talk about risk. A lot of people listening right now are afraid to take risks, and there is something important to say here.
Fear of risk is one of the biggest barriers I see. The middle class asks, what if I lose everything? What if it fails? So they do not try. They choose safe. They choose comfortable. And comfortable can be a very expensive place to live.
Comfortable can cost you everything in the long run.
Wealthy people see risk differently. They do not ask, what if I fail? They ask, what will I learn if this does not work? They are not reckless. They see failure as information, as a teacher, not as a full stop.
So failure is not the opposite of success for them.
Failure is the road to success. Every person you admire, every entrepreneur, every builder, every person who made something from nothing has a long list of failures behind them. They just kept going. Every failure was a lesson, not a verdict.
And that mindset, can someone actually learn that, or do you either have it or you don't?
It is 100% learnable. Start small. Try something new. Let yourself be wrong about small things. Build the muscle. The more times you survive a small failure and keep going, the less terrifying big risks become.
Build the muscle. I love that. Okay, let's talk about the people you surround yourself with, because I think this one is seriously underestimated.
Massively underestimated. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Most people hear that and nod, but they do not actually apply it. If your 5 closest people are constantly complaining about money, saying rich people are just lucky, that thinking seeps into you slowly, quietly. It becomes your thinking. You do not even notice it happening.
And if you're around people who are actually building things,
Then you start thinking like them. You start asking different questions. You start seeing opportunities. You get challenged and pushed. Your standard for what is possible goes up. The environment shapes you more than you realize.
so here's a question. Who are the 5 people you spend the most time with? Are they pushing you forward and challenging you to think bigger? Or are they keeping you comfortable and maybe a little stuck? Be honest with yourself.
And you don't have to cut people off, but you do need to be intentional about who you add to your life.
That's a great point. Okay, you mentioned something earlier about language, about the words people use. Can you talk about that?
Yes, this is one of my favorites. There are 2 phrases that say everything about where someone is headed. The middle class says, I can't afford it. The wealthy ask, how can I afford it? Hear the difference?
One is a closed door. The other is a question that opens something up.
Exactly. When you say, I can't afford it, your brain stops. It accepts the limit and moves on. But when you ask, how can I afford it, your brain starts working. It looks for solutions. The question keeps the door open, and open doors lead somewhere.
And over time, those 2 phrases create 2 completely different lives.
Completely different lives. Same salary, same starting point, but one person kept asking better questions, and the questions led them somewhere new.
Let's bring this home. If you've been listening and recognizing yourself in this, that is a good thing. That is awareness. And awareness is where everything starts.
Exactly right. You cannot change what you cannot see. Most people never have this conversation with themselves. The fact that you are here, listening, already puts you ahead.
So, what is the one thing, just one thing, someone can start doing today?
Pick one habit. Just one. Read instead of scrolling. Save a small amount this week. Reach out to someone who inspires you. Start small, but start today. Because the gap between where you are and where you want to be closes one decision at a time.
One small decision at a time. I love that. Before we go, one final question. 5 years from now, if you keep making the same decisions you are making today, where will you be? If you are happy with that answer, keep going. If not, today is a day to change something. Thank you for listening. Share this with someone who needs it.
We will see you next time.